From Mariah Carey to Whitney Houston, onto Beyoncé, and even Michael Jackson, all of our favorites have either sung a cover of a Christmas song or written their own, whether they were practicing Christians or not. Except for one. As an enthusiastic Christmas caroler, I've always wondered why Prince never recorded a cover of a Christmas song, or, at the very least, gave us his guitar-infused version of one. But what if he did have a Christmas song buried deep in his music catalog? Turns out that Prince only ever wrote one Christmas song in his career. This song was on the B-sides of I Would Die For You and was called Another Lonely Christmas. According to Dwayne Tudall in the book Prince and the Purple Rain Era Studio Sessions, 1983 and 1984, the song was recorded in one night on February 18, 1984, with Prince reportedly operating a one-man band and then engineering the track himself. Tudall claimed in the book that Prince wanted to flip the idea of a Christmas song on its head by singing a sad song about the holiday.
Last night, I spent another lonely Christmas.
Prince and the Revolution only performed this song once in 1984 during a matinee concert in St. Paul, Minneapolis on December 26th, but it is still considered as a cult classic by his hardcore fans. In what may be the saddest Christmas song ever, Prince takes us through an emotionally brutal 6-minute song talking about a lover who's gone away with only his voice, a piano, and a few chords on his guitar. The song opens with Prince's trademark back-to-front guitar chords that hit the listener right in the feels for all 6 minutes of this agonizing rock ballad. Accompanying the piano, Prince lays out the sweet memories of what appears to be a young love. As the narrator of the song, Prince takes on the mantle of the distraught party in the relationship who gets left behind to grieve the loss of their loved one. In the beginning of the song, Prince sets up the story of the two lovers. He croons devastating lyrics about how they used to go swimming in the lover's family pool, and how when they played Pocono, the lover would always win, and Prince would get so frustrated at always losing, he'd want to scream. Prince goes on to say that he runs into the lover's family members now, when he's in town, but doesn't know what to say to them anymore. And then about halfway into the song, Prince finally reveals the twist to Another Lonely Christmas, which is that his lover died on Christmas Day. And because of this death, Prince drinks himself silly each year on Christmas, trying to forget what the person meant to him.
Promise me, baby, promise me you'll never leave. Then you died on the 25th day of December.
Listening to Prince's lyrics, you're probably guessing why Another Lonely Christmas hasn't made it onto anyone's annual Christmas playlist. After all, a song about death and devastation, even if it does meet the requirement of taking place during wintertime, isn't exactly the type of song that will bring on holiday cheer. And while Prince claimed the song was all fictional in an interview for LoveOneAnother.com, this feeling of missing a dead lover and being isolated was a concept he'd go on to talk about again in his song, Sometimes It Snows in April 2 years later. And while many of his team, like his old sound engineer Susan Rogers, felt as if the lyrics reflected Prince's feelings of loneliness more than he was willing to let on, Rogers noted that Prince was a truthful writer and wasn't afraid to say when he was lonely despite his fame. Nevertheless, I always find it interesting that Prince tucked a gem like Another Lonely Christmas away in his musical cupboards and never played it again after that 1984 Minneapolis concert. Nevertheless, after all, even if Christmas is marketed as a joyous time, there are many people who are alone on Christmas and don't necessarily feel the traditional good vibes and joy that get sold as the sole emotions one should feel during this holiday season. According to the American Psychiatric Association, nearly 1 in 3 American adults report feeling lonely at least once a week throughout the year, and 1 in 10 adults say they are lonely once every day. In a similar study done by the American Association of Retired Persons of adults older than 18, the statistics rose to 55% of adults experiencing loneliness during the holiday season. And as Jennifer Hudson put it during an interview about the inspiration behind her own Christmas album, Christmas time can be hard for people who aren't able to be with their loved ones and family because of tragedy or because of something as simple as a mandatory work day.
Some people do have to work.
It's complicated.
Some people don't get to sit by the fireplace and sit with the family. It's different perspectives. So I'm saying it to say, like, I wanted to tap into all of those things. Like, we all have to go through the holiday season whether you celebrate it or not, and it's like, well, where's your song? What about like some type of perspective for someone's going through the holiday season? Go Tell on the Mountain, the mourners.
Yeah.
Like, well, I know what it's like to have lost loved ones, and then you got to go through the holiday season. So where's their song? What do they listen to?
We rarely get songs written about the emotions they may feel in the traditional Christmas music genre. Thinking about this, I couldn't think of anyone better than the Purple One himself to sing about the feeling of being isolated on the holidays. Since during this era of Prince's career, the singer was said to be at his loneliest after the fame of the Purple Rain movie and album. For example, in an interview with Neil Carlin for Rolling Stone in 1985, Prince highlighted the fact that few of his friends would come to visit him even though he wished they would. However, because they and others thought of him as such an unattainable figure after his success, they didn't see him as a normal person who also needed company. Tapping into this idea of loneliness as you're trapped in the spirals of your memory is what makes Prince's Christmas songs so great. Prince doesn't waste his listeners' time singing about how everything will be okay. Come Christmas Day, he instead deals in reality and tells the truth about grief in the song. That grief can hit some people hardest in those lonely moments of the holiday, and sometimes all of your loved ones to keep you warm through those trying times, even if the memories are good or bad. So, this holiday season, I hope everyone listening is able to be a little less lonely this year.